Welcome to Mystara for an overdue video. Due to a lot of research involved, compounded by the Vaults of Pandius being down for the latter part of January. Today we're looking at the Brotherhood of the Radiance, the Brotherhood of Rad, the most exclusive and powerful secret society in Glantri, if not the known world. They control the fate of the magocracy behind the scenes and are unknown even to each other. Led by everybody's favorite French immortal, they want to use the nucleus of the spheres and the sphere of energy to increase their power. I'm Mr. Welch, and prepare to get totally tubular. The Brotherhood of the Radiance appears in the long list of societies in the Glantri Gazetteer. Despite its small entry in that section, it had the most significant impact of all of them. Despite its importance, it's also the smallest of all the societies, with only 7 members. They're so secretive that they never even meet in person, only using magically projected images. They don't even know the identities of their fellow members, going with made-up nicknames like Brother Rad, Brother Gnarly, and Brother Bodacious. Their stated goal is to prevent the use of the Radiance by those who can't handle its powers, as well as to keep the knowledge of the magic hidden from other wizards. They claim to support anyone worthy of wielding the secrets of their group, but the number of people on that list is short. Who am I kidding? That list is blank. The members of the group include 3 princes, 1 future prince, 1 would-be future prince, the grandson of a prince, and a marquis who not only discovered the Radiance, but managed to stay alive and contact the others, and convince them that they needed to join their little fraternity. No small task. They are all responsible for keeping track of those with even the remotest knowledge of the Radiance. If said person is considered a threat to them, that person will be eliminated. While this has to be done discreetly, it's usually not a problem considering the power level of the Brotherhood, what with 3 princes and all being members. Thankfully for the Shadow Elves, the Brotherhood has no idea of their existence. To qualify for membership, the would-be member needs to learn at least 1 Radiant spell and then build a magical receptacle to contain the nucleus of the sphere's powers. Once accomplished, the mage will then be contacted by the Brotherhood if deemed worthy. Being a member does have its benefits, as society will fast-track members unaware of their true identity. The source of the Radiance is directly under Glantri City. The closer your receptacle is physically, the more power you can absorb. With 3 of the 7 members already princes, they have their receptacles in the capital already. Moving closer than you are allowed by Glantrian law is strictly forbidden, and the Brotherhood will remove offending members. Not that this has ever happened. It's the benefits of a small membership. If the wizard is accepted, they will be given a time and a place to communicate with the others. This is always done remotely. Officially, no one knows the identity of the others, but with one of the members being an immortal, that rule doesn't apply evenly. On the first meeting, the new member will be able to choose their name and be allowed to ask any questions about the true power of the Radiance. The more the wizard already knows about the Radiance, the more likely they're going to be approved. The most essential part of studying the Radiance before you're a member is discretion. The first rule of the Brotherhood of the Radiance is you do not talk about the Brotherhood of the Radiance. The 17th rule of the Brotherhood of the Radiance is you do not talk about the Brotherhood of the Radiance. You aren't long for the world if you are particularly vocal in your research. It is best if the applicant discovers the Brotherhood rather than they notice him researching the energy. The other reason to be discreet is there are several other wizards also researching the Radiance, and they would be thrilled to pick your brain for what you know, with dissecting tools if necessary. This isn't Hogwarts, this is Glantri. Wizards do not share information. No one will correct your pronunciation of summon Radiance. They will gag you with a Bohemian ear spoon and steal your notes. Unless they're good aligned, in which case they will just use memory-modifying spells and leave you physically unharmed as they steal your notes. Researching the magical energy that can fast-track your path to immortality is a full-contact sport in Glantri. What does it take to be a member of this esteemed yet rather murdery fraternity? First, you have to be Glantrian. That should go without saying, but a few people from other nations, particularly Alphatia, have studied the Radiance. If their research was discovered, the Brotherhood would ensure that the upstart's death would serve as both an example and a test subject. The secret of the Radiance is not to be shared with outsiders. The second requirement is the wizard has to be at least name level. This isn't out of respect or anything similar, but you have to be able to cast Radiant spells to join, and the lowest level spells are all available at 5th level, so you have to be a 9th level wizard to cast them. Then you have to build the receptacle, which isn't cheap. There's a reason why all the members are nobility. Because all wizards are nobles in Glantri, of course. If a filthy commoner tried to learn about the Radiance, they would be rightly vaporized for their insolence. Once you've done all that, you have to start researching more spells. The information on the Radiance naturally is almost impossible to find, and the Brotherhood does its best to keep it that way. To showcase the kind of person that they are looking for, if you want to use the Radiance to improve the lives of those around you, you get targeted for removal. If you want to use it to gain immortality and increase your power, welcome to the club. Even the one guy in the Brotherhood who is lawful good follows those rules. The Radiance is for the few, never for the many. They don't know the nucleus of the spheres is a finite commodity. They just don't like to share unless necessary. The 7 members of the Brotherhood are the Princes Etienne d'Amberville, Reinert McGregor, Vansery Vlardwin, the future Prince Harold of Haskins, MacGregor's grandson Angus, and his son-in-law Aldair McAllister, and the Belcadese noble Don Fernando de Casanegra. Casanegra is an elf, the only non-human to join the Brotherhood. Well, Brainerd isn't exactly human anymore, but he was at some point in his dark life. Of the members, Harold and McAllister have suffered greatly from the nucleus's withering effect, and several parts of their body have rotted away because of the Radiance use. Brainerd has used so much that his entire body has withered to the point of turning him into a Radiance Lich, the only creature of his type. Etienne is secretly an immortal, but he maintains membership to try and understand the nucleus and its powers. He is proof that the Radiance can be used to gain immortality, but he never explains the cost and the fact that other immortals will look at you as a cheater if you succeed. The member that stands out more than any other is Angus MacGregor. While other members are all elders, Angus is just 10, still a child. He's just as capable as the others, though at a much lower level, being only level 12 compared to the princes being level 28 and higher. Oddly enough, despite his vast age differences, he's only a level below his uncle Alistair. The others don't care that Angus is a child. Even his family members don't comprehend just how fast-tracked this kid is when it comes to magical powers. Granted, the other members of the Brotherhood also don't realize that one of their members can walk into the arcade part of Chuck E. Cheese without raising an eyebrow. Angus is still a ways from gaining the more powerful Radiant spells, but it's only a matter of time. Plus, he can always raid his grandfather's library if necessary. It's unknown how Brainerd would react if he knew his grandson was a member of the Brotherhood. The prince is grooming Angus to replace him once he achieves immortality. Then again, Brainerd's a rather evil guy and might think Angus is angling to replace him early, so he needs to go. Harold is the friendliest member of the group, and the only good-aligned one on top of it. He's probably the friendliest wizard in Glantri, which makes you wonder how he stayed alive for so long. The fact that he's much more powerful than his sponsor, Prince di Malapietra, has something to do with it. But he's also relatively isolated in his duchy and has no enemies. This gives him plenty of time to research the Radiance. While he's not one to automatically call for the death of anybody who hears a rumor about the nucleus, he understands the dangers the Radiance possesses, especially in the hands of people who don't comprehend its properties. He hasn't participated in assassinating people nosing around looking for Radiance lore, but he has voted to approve it. There's not much lore on Casanegra. He's not mentioned in any detail in the Gazetteer, and he gets 2 lines of passing mention in the Glantri box set. He's a level 9 elf who studies the Radiance for purely scholarly reasons. He's one of the more adamant about controlling who has access to the information behind the magic, as he understands better than most of the others what happens if the magic is overused. Past that, he's a blank slate. He's loyal to his princess and spends all of his time looking at the true nature of the magical energy that they're trying to harness. He's one of the more reasonable members, but won't hesitate to eliminate any threat to the Brotherhood. There's even less to know about McAllister. He's married to the daughter of Prince MacGregor, he suffers badly from radiance burns, and he's redoubling his effort to try to learn the higher spells. If any of them were to try to cast the spell for immortality and fail, it would probably be McAllister. If you're looking for information in print on the Brotherhood, don't bother with the box set. It removed vast chunks of lore to make room for all the magic spells. It was made by Monty Cook, after all. It says that in the future, the Brotherhood is reduced to 4 members, with Etienne missing and Vlardoin dead. It drops McAllister from the membership list without any explanation, and he's still alive in Glantri at this point. It does mention that the Brotherhood always meets through magical conference calls at every equinox and solstice, if nothing else, to prove that they're not dead. However, the information in that book is primarily cut and pasted from the original. It's not fully updated from the time skip, as it mentions Etienne knows the identities of all the members, and he's supposed to be dead at this point in the timeline. 5 people are currently aware of the Radiance and are looking for more information on it, with varying degrees of success. The first is Prince Andir Voluspen, who knows the Radiance but hasn't discovered any relevant spells. He will stop at nothing to acquire the information, and once he has that, nothing will keep him from joining the Brotherhood. There's 3 princes on it already, nobody will notice a 4th. Don Hippolito de Belcadese has almost all the spells needed to start channeling the Radiance, though he will probably not survive long enough to join. Casanegra knows of Hippolito's attempts and finds the elf loathsome and corrupt. The Don will likely find himself on the wrong end of a glowing green death spell. Rejladon Virayana is the youngest son of Prince Jarek and discovered a single spell regarding the Radiance. Before he could continue his research, an Alphatian wizard magically imprisoned him, wanting that spell for himself. Now he's trapped in a 5-mile-long demiplane, being hunted by an Athak, until he gives up what she wants. Lady Cenaria Verlian is the woman who is responsible for the torture of Rejladon. She is a Flemish mage of some power who has been looking for Radiance lore for a good chunk of her life, only for some young wizard to stumble across the spell, almost on accident. She doesn't consider this fair, so she will force the man to give him what she wants, and then dispose of him. If any of the Brotherhood discovers this, she will find herself disappearing instead. Unfortunately for Rezladin, his fate is no concern to them. Our Bonager bot knows of the Radiance but has to tread carefully, as she's an Alphatian spy tasked with discovering secret Glantrian magic. If she gets discovered, all of the Brotherhood will stop at nothing to end her before she can report back to the Empress. That's the Brotherhood of the Radiance. I had to scour the vaults for much of the knowledge, which took over a week because of the online issues. They aren't numerous. They aren't nice. They will end you to protect their knowledge. Be warned. Next up are the clan leaders of Alfheim, both the clan masters and the tree keepers. Until then, be excellent to everyone.